So today we're doing a build off between Opus 4.8 and GPT 5.5 to see if given the same prompt and the goal command, so they just went through and one shot at these applications, I wanted to see which one would come out on top, which app is closer to being ready to ship. And so we're going to go through the results of this together. So to get this started, I gave both these guys the same command or the same prompt and triggered a build here. So you'll see this is just me kicking that off. I just wanted to show one thing here, that I had to go in and clarify something with GPT 5.5. So we're going to jump ahead just a second here. All right, so I gave them both the /goal command with a predefined prompt that I can share down in the description if you want to see it, and basically just asked for them to build a demo app that I could evaluate. And then I used Gemini with a judging rubric to score both of them. And we'll go over the results here at the end and see which app came out on top. So this happened over here. Codex got stuck trying to start up the Stitch MCP because that's been broken for a while, but I'm not sure why it got hung up on that. So there was a point where it seems to get stuck, and I interrupt it and tell it, yeah, you don't need that server for this project, so you can just skip that. I think that was the only intervention that I made, if I remember correctly. So yeah, there they go. They both finished building. So now I'm going to run through the UIs here. And again, I'll just leave it running in 2x speed and just kind of talk through it. So this is the UI that Claude made. I'm just checking it out, seeing what works. So they gave me credentials that I can test with for admin and as a client. This is me testing the admin, obviously. I believe this one works on the first try. I don't totally remember. Yeah, so that one worked right away. That was the other thing we're going to see when I do the Codex version, is it has a database error on the first time through, and I have to feed that back. So this is me testing to make sure that if I hit test, that if I edit the text and then refresh the page, that the changes persist. And yeah, it's a really simple app, so I'm just kind of clicking around, seeing if things work as they're supposed to. It does, so I'm going to log out, log back in as a client, check out how the interface is different. So I can go in and see tickets that were created. This is a fake system for a roofing company. I can create new requests. I'm going to jump over and grab an image. I didn't do image upload just for simplicity. I just did where I can paste in a URL, but I wanted to test and make sure that it sticks with that it saves it correctly, basically. So there I can click view photo. That works. So that's the Claude version. In the meantime, the Codex version finished. So I jump over there and build that as well. It had more commands. I wasn't sure over here if I had to run, if I had to start the API server first, and I believe I do. I think there's a command here where I have to actually start the API server first. So I've got to jump over here, grab the credentials. That's a small thing, but it was nice that for a test that Claude put it in the UI for me. Less realistic, but it was nice for experimental purposes. Yeah, so it's failing to fetch. I believe it's because I haven't started the server yet. So I didn't like that I had to run a separate script to get that to work. So this is me telling Codex, like, hey, this should run. You should find this. I don't want to have to check and find issues. So it fixes it for me. Sorry, skip ahead. I test it again. Honestly, once I'm logged in, the functionality is very similar. The UIs are just a little bit different, but I was less concerned about that. Doing the same thing where I'm just testing to make sure that saves persist on refresh, and it did. Date picker works. So I believe, yeah, I'll log out here, log back in as a client so we can see that. And then we'll have Gemini score this, and we're going to go through the results together. I'm going to have it build a web page that compares the outputs, and we'll go through that. But yeah, overall, not bad. Like I said, very simple test apps, but they both seem to work. Finding the same water image, the same leak image. Also works. That's it. So all in all, both apps were functional and did what they were supposed to do. So we're going to go through the results here together in just a sec. So hang tight. All right, so we're going to take a look at the results here. Let's see. So I used Gemini to score the results, and Claude is the winner. I actually knew that ahead of time just because I saw it in the console, but I did wait until now to open up the website that I had it build to show me the results. Of course, it's got a light mode, dark mode. That's pretty funny. So let's see. Claude wins. Why? It was pretty close, 100 to 93.5. Claude delivered an exceptional production-grade client portal. While both models met the baseline functional criteria, Claude stands out by offering a secure, highly modular, and relational SQL backend ready for real-world hosting. Cool. So let's take a look here. So the comparative scoreboard, did they run successfully? They both did. Let's look at the ones that are different. Auth and role separation. Let's see. So Codex, solid express middleware, verification and role gating. However, storing the JWT token inside client local storage represents a cross-site scripting security hazard. Okay. Industrial grade, this is for Claude. Industrial grade security implements signed JWTs in HTTP only cookies, rendering them secure against client-side cross-site injection attacks. Proper server-side redirects. So that's one. All right, this one was a 8 compared to a 10. Persistence and data model. So let's see. Codex, atomic file writing safeguards, DB-JSON data loss. But the model reads and writes the entire file on every request, which will not scale. Interesting. True SQLite relational database, parameterized bindings eliminate SQL injection risk, and wall journaling avoids multi-work or file locks. So it looks like they're both doing really good work, but Claude's stuff was just more production ready. If you were doing this as just like a head-to-head experiment for the apps, probably wouldn't notice much difference. So UI UX, gorgeous earth green. Says it's slightly cramped on mobile. That's nitpicky. High fidelity, responsive slate blue UI. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so this one's the biggest differentiator here. We've got the code quality and maintainability. For Codex, we got extremely monolithic, collapsing all React logic into main.jsx, and server logic into server.js represents prototype-style build habits. Interesting. So Claude got exceptional Next.js architecture, pages, reusable components, auth routines, formatting helpers. So yeah, I think the theme that we're seeing here is that Claude was more production ready. It basically saw all of the little details through to completion. Let's see. It did have a couple critiques here. Let's see what this says. It's built a practically production-ready app, but a couple small limitations must be noted. Cookie securing. Cookies are not flagged with secure true yet. Oh, with secure true yet to allow smooth localhost testing. Must be toggled on behind an HTTPS reverse proxy in production. Photo upload handled via absolute URL string input only, avoiding true multi-part file uploads per prompt instructions. But I believe both apps did that, where they only took the URL. API access control. The post repair requests endpoint lacks an explicit block for the admin rules, though admins have no logical UI pathway to invoke it. So, couple small things. Let's see what Codex has. I've kind of already gone through this. So, monolithic code base, JSON database limits, cross-site scripting vulnerability, DX onboarding friction, requires manually running a seed script before starting the server. Honestly, I think that was, I'm not sure if that was the same for both or not. I'd have to go back and check. But it looks like it was either a tie or Claude won in every category. So, this is by no means scientific. This is just a quick experiment to see if I gave GPT 5.5 and Opus 4.8 the same prompt. I just wanted to see which one would win. So yeah, that's it for this one. Honestly, I think the takeaway from this is that you're not going to go wrong with either model. And next week, you're going to see something else come out where it's going to edge out Claude. So for right now, it looks like, at least from this small experiment, that Opus 4.8 takes the slight edge. GPT 5.5 is obviously super capable, and this was given one prompt, so that's something too where I don't know if the quality of the prompt plays a role here, but regardless, it was a fun experiment. So thanks so much for checking this out. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.